If you're not sure about a particular form, why not make a photocopy of the form, or you could pick up more than one copy and use it for practice. Also, don't be afraid to take the forms home with you and fill them out at your own pace. They don't always have to be filled out there and then. If you'd like to know more about forms, there's a free workbook that accompanies the series to help you along the way. To get your free pack, you can free phone the number on your screen. That's 1800 20 20 65, 1800 20 20 65. Or you can visit our website. That's www.rug.ie. And don't worry, these contact details will come up again at the end of the programme. Frank, have you filled out any forms recently?
I have, just thinking about last Tuesday when we returned to Pearse College. Yeah. Everybody fills out a form. Anyone that can't, they get help out the tutors and I filled one out there last week. It's just for the new term. Yeah. And it was absolutely brilliant, you know.
And there was no problem in doing that?
No problem.
Yeah, I have a problem in that. It's just the hassle of filling out forms, and one in particular that I can't get my head around is tax forms. I'd do anything to avoid it. Not paying tax, mind you, but filling out the form. Esther, when people have to fill in forms in a FÁS office, for example, they are taking that first step maybe towards doing a course and they're faced with this form, can they get help in filling it out?
Indeed, the person at reception generally would be aware of the sensitivities around people that may find it difficult, and as well as that, FÁS is working towards making their forms more and more user-friendly. And it is fine to take the form home. I often do that myself because you may not always have the relevant information right there with you. So there are many ways around just having to do it there on the spot.
And people will help if you just ask.
Indeed, indeed.
Well, if you want to know where to pick up a particular form, your local library is a very good place to start. But if you've never been to a library or it's been a while since you have, it might seem a bit daunting on a first visit. If you're thinking of joining one near you, you might find this next piece a really useful guide.
It's raining outside, the TV's packed up and the kids are driving you insane. So how were kids amused before television? What about knitting? Playing a musical instrument, perhaps? I know. Reading.
Okay, you ready? We're going to go to the library. Let's go. Yay!
There are over 350 libraries in Ireland, and with around an extra 30 mobile libraries, there should be one near you. If you've never been to a library, all the books could be a bit overwhelming, and it could take you ages to find the one you want. To help you out, the books are divided into sections and then alphabetically by the author's name. But if you've got any problems or questions, there's always a friendly librarian to help out.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning. We'd like to join the library.
Okay. You haven't joined any of our libraries before in Meath at all, no?
We haven't, no.
Okay then. Did you want me just to show you around quickly before we start?
Yes, please.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
All right. Right. So what ages are you boys?
7.5. I'm 9.5.
Okay. Well, the main fiction books that you'll be looking at then will be along this area here. They're all our non-fiction books or our subject books. So if you're interested in geography or science or history or anything like that, all of them are along the back wall there. If you want to just have a look around and Mum around and let us have a look at the adult books, is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. The main area here is our adult area, and we have all our adult fiction right down to the bottom there. We've kept most of our Irish fiction together at the start, so people like Maeve Binchy and Patricia Scanlon,
Right.
we like all those kinds.
I love them. Love
they're all together there at the start. Along the back wall here, we've got all the non-fiction books.
Okay.
So if you're interested in, any of the crime or anything like that,
right.
I've got our large print collection, which is just along there. They used to be generally just for older people that couldn't read very clearly, but quite a lot of ordinary people would like to read that type of print.
I don't actually get a lot of time to read.
Okay, or maybe audiobooks might be a thing for you. I know a lot
Right.
of people are taking them out, especially in their cars. We've got audiobooks here on CD, on tape as well.
Right.
The rest of this section we've got is like DVDs and CDs, and the children's audio stuff is there as well if you want to have a look.
So, libraries aren't just about books. As well as CDs and DVDs, they also provide today's newspapers, current magazines, and citizens' advice information. Many of them also organise activities ranging from mother and toddler groups to music appreciation clubs, not to mention free internet access.
This is our main computer and adult study area here. Basically, we just have internet access. All you need basically is your library card. You just come to the desk and we'll book you on one of the PCs here. You can take up to half an hour a day. We've one PC available here as well for Word documents.
And how much does that cost?
The internet itself is free, but if you need to print anything out, just 20 cents a sheet.
Oh, right.
You just ask at the desk and they release the jobs there for you.
Sorry, I seem to have a problem here with the internet.
Okay, Lorraine, would you mind if you just want to take a newspaper there for the minute and I'll come back to you in a
I
second?
will,
I'll just
certainly.
deal with this customer.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
thanks. What can I help you?
I was trying to set up an email account.
Okay, have you used the internet before?
I have, yes, but it's just the email account I'm having the problem with.
Okay, there's a couple of things that you can do. We've got some books there to help you with it. That using the internet actually has something on setting up an email account. Or if
Okay.
you prefer, you can book in a one-to-one session, getting the account set up.
Can I take this book out?
Yeah, sure.
Can I take this book out?
Okay, that's grand. We'll get that sorted for you.
We've decided we'd like to join the library.
Okay, all we need for your adults to join is some proof of ID. And basically, if you have something with your photograph on or a utility bill with
I do,
your
I
your
brought that
address
with
on. Great. We just need you to fill in your details along there. That's just for the two adults. The children, they don't need any ID. And then when you're finished with that, come back and we'll be able to give you your cards.
Just put your name there in capital letters so they can read it. And the address. Do you know your address? Put in your address there. Ash House, ASH. Great, Matthew. Now put in there your date of birth. What's your date of birth?
Just going to put these onto the system here. You can take up to 4 items over a 2-week period.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
See you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
So there's a quick guide to getting the most out of your local library, which isn't bad considering how much you can get out of it.
Mom, Connor stole my book.
Well, for 5 minutes anyway.
Your local library is yours and it's usually free. Frank, are you a member of your local library?
Unfortunately, I'm not. And after just now today in the programme, I definitely will go down to Dolphins Barn because even if it's a Saturday morning just to get an hour or something, it's fantastic, you know. And
It is brilliant, and the
Yeah.
amount of information, and you can just get
Yeah.
carried off to different worlds, can't you, in a library? I
you
always
would, yeah,
find.
yeah.
Of course, joining the library will require you to read and to fill in a form. So with that in mind, here's some more advice on how to read those forms.
When you get a form, you may be tempted to start filling it in right away. It's a good idea to read it carefully first, to make sure you have all the information you need before you start writing and that you put the right information in the right place. Look for special instructions about how to fill in the form, like writing in block capitals or block letters, which is the same thing. This one also asks you to use black ink. See if you have to write your name all together. Put your first name and surname in different places, or put each letter in a separate box. If the form asks for your title, like Mr., Mrs., Miss, or Ms., you may just need to tick one of the choices, or you may need to write it in. You may just have a line or two to write in your address, or there may be a separate line for the town or city and for the county. If you have to give a telephone number, again, there may just be a line to write on. Or there may be boxes, one for each number. If you have to give your date of birth, the form will show you if you have to write it in a particular way. Here you have to write the day in the first 2 boxes, the month in the next 2, and the year in the last 4 boxes. You also usually have to put the date when you sign the form. You don't have to write anything in if there's a section for office use only. The people you're giving the form to will fill in that bit. See if there are any notes if you're not sure what information is needed in a particular part of the form. After you've read the form carefully, you're finally ready to start filling it in.
Frank, have you any advice for people who may be watching who were or maybe are in the position that you were in a few years ago and might be a bit nervous about returning to adult education?
If anybody is a bit nervous, the only thing that I can say is that I was nervous going back the first day. It was like being a child, but I never thought up to the present moment what I've had to achieve up to this, to sit down and do a junior cert, and the support that we get off the tutors out of this world,
Yeah.
you know.
And you have so many stories to tell on what it has done for you. Of course, you can always simply go along to your local VEC Adult Learning Centre if you wish to improve your basic skills. It's a free and confidential service at a time and a place that suits you. And that's all we have time for today. We'd like to thank our guests for coming in. Thanks very much to Frank Locke and to Esther Mackey. Next time, we'll be looking at the mobile phone, how to send text messages, and a step-by-step guide to keeping that credit topped up. In the meantime, here's the contact details to get hold of your free student workbook that goes with the series.
For your free student pack and workbook, free phone 1800 20 20 65. That's 1800 20 20 65. Or you can go online and visit www.rug.ie or write to The Really Useful Guide to Words and Numbers, care of Nala, 76 Lower Gardner Street, Dublin 1.